Hey everyone, welcome to part 5 of software testing behavioral interview questions and answers. And in this video, I'm going to cover another 5 very important behavioral interview questions and answers, which are listed below. So the first question that I'm going to discuss is, why do you think you are the right candidate for this particular job or position? What is your salary expectation? Third question is, how long do you plan to remain with this company or with this role, right? Fourth question is around, can you tell us something about your biggest achievement? So it could be your achievement during the college or during your past projects. What is your biggest achievement that you think? Then the last question or fifth question of this particular part is, what kind of work environment do you prefer to work in? So let's quickly go ahead and start understanding these questions, why interviewers ask these questions, and then what should be the right way to answer these questions in any of the behavioral interview question and answer question round. So the first question, why do you think you are the right candidate for this job? Right now, this is very important question and very widely asked as well. And the reason why interviewer asked this particular question is to understand from your perspective, do you see yourself or do you think that you are the right candidate, and why do you think you are the right candidate for this particular role or job? Will you be able to perform all the duties that are expected out of this particular job or not? That's the whole point of asking this particular question. Now, if you are a fresher, how should you be answering this particular question? So if you are a fresher, you can say something like, this job description states that you are looking for, whatever job role you are looking for, test analyst with excellent software testing and test automation skills. Okay. So job role will advertise, or job role will give you a description of what exactly they are looking for. So you can specify those details. Then you can mention, I have done a lot of self-learning about software testing and test automation during my graduation by enrolling in many online courses. Okay, so this is something very common that you as a student most of the time do. So you enroll in online learning and courses based on the interest that you want to get into which particular field. So if you want to get into software testing, you will obviously be enrolling into many of the online courses if you are really serious to build a career in IT. So you can mention that you have already started learning, or you have learned you have enrolled in many courses, and you have learned a lot of other stuff related to software testing and test automation. Then recently I have also completed classroom training. Say for example, after coming out of college, you have joined some training, classroom training, some institute wherein you have also got some hands-on training. So you can mention about that as well. Recently I have also completed classroom training from whichever training institute you have joined and got a chance for hands-on experience in real-time project, which helped me to understand complete testing life cycle into enterprises, right? So you can tweak this answer according to your learning, your situation, and what you have learned, which institute you have learned, and what exactly you have learned. Answer will remain same, that you have to mainly justify that you are the right fit for this particular job. And why you are the right fit? Because you have already been serious in your college about learning the software testing stuff by enrolling into the software testing courses. Coming out of the college, if you haven't been placed directly from the college, you have joined a particular training institute and gone through the hands-on training as well, which equip you very well to perform the real-time work into the real projects when you are being hired into the profile. If there is an automation component, you can mention specific automation tools that you have learned as part of that particular training course in the training institute or online courses, right? So that's for the fresher. Now, if you are an experienced candidate, you can mention something like, this job description states that you are looking for, whatever job role, say test manager or test lead, right? With excellent software testing and test automation skill. Now you can update this software testing and test automation skills accordingly. If they are looking for something specific in automation, you can put more keywords there. Then in my current role, I'm already performing all the duties required by this particular role. Along with the current responsibilities, I'm also doing a lot of test automation work wherever required, which reduces the repetitive tasks and tests, right? So this is something that you can, if you are experienced candidate, you can specify what all this particular role requires. You already have those skills, first thing. The second thing is you are also building on top of your existing skills. You are doing something extra, providing more value to the organization, where you are working by writing scripts and automating stuff, which reduces the repetitive task, which will be an add-on bonus if this company hires you as well. Okay, so this is basically how you are going to answer this particular question. Why do you think you are the right candidate for this particular job? Okay, now moving on to the next question. So the second question is, what is your salary expectation? This question comes mostly at the last, when you are very close to being offered the particular position, right? So if the interviewer has reached to this particular question, most probably you will be offered a role, right? Not always, but most probably you are very close. Now, for salary expectation question, it is very tricky, right? So you have to be either very specific what your salary expectation are, but being specific doesn't mean that you are not flexible. Okay, so you can put a figure, and then you need to be also flexible enough to negotiate on that, right? So I've given two tips there if you are flexible in providing the expectation, or tip 2 is asking the recruiter themselves about a typical salary for that particular role that you are being interviewed. Okay, so tip 1, if you are very specific that I'm looking for this particular figure, go ahead and research for that particular role what that company offers as a minimum range and the max range. This is very important because many people go for the job interviews and they are mostly offered, and then in this particular question they end up not negotiating to the highest possible range of that particular role, which is not good, right? If company is paying you 200,000 for a particular role, and then the range is from 150 to 200,000 for same amount of experience, why not target for getting the highest or maximum salary, right, which is 200,000 for that particular role band? So if you are being offered $200,000, and then if the minimum range is $150,000, so that is a $50,000 difference, which is a massive difference, right? Which is a good amount of difference for same experience. Why not grab a better salary, right? Why not mention the higher range? So if you are providing your expectation and you know the range already, right, for that particular experience, number of years of experience, skill set, etc., then you can specify, or how you can answer is, based on my experience, skill set and market research, I would expect to earn, say for example, the higher range is $200,000. I would expect to earn $200,000. However, salary is not a constraint for this role and your company. I am flexible and open for negotiation. So what you have answered here is you have put the maximum range, okay, the maximum range that you are expecting. Now this sets your expectation in front of the interviewer, okay, in front of HR, that you're not looking for something 150, 160k range, right? You're looking for the max bracket, and now from there on, because it's in their range of the max range, they might then straight away either offer you, okay, because it's already in the range, you have researched it, or they might then try to negotiate a little bit, but they won't say no, we can only offer 150, right? So you will still end up 190, 195. So that is a good negotiation in that particular case when you research. If you don't research, obviously, no, we just pay this much and this is the range that we can pay, and you are happy with that, right? So that is first scenario. Now the second scenario is that you do not want to mention the salary figure, okay? Then in that case you ask the question to the interviewer itself, right? So you can simply say, that's a good question, it would be really helpful for me if you could share what a person with my skill set and qualifications typically earn in this role with your organization, right? So what you guys as an organization pay typically to a person with my experience and skill set, what is your salary range, right? So in that case, you might not be able to negotiate on the higher band. That's the drawback of this particular, when you flip it to the recruiter, right? When you have researched well and you know the salary band, go with the higher one. If you don't know the salary range for that particular role for the company, it's better to flick to the interviewer. Maybe they will already start a very good salary amount, which is higher than what you are expecting, right? So then you can maybe negotiate even higher. If it is there within the range of their bracket, you will get even higher, right? So these are two possibilities of the salary expectation. So go ahead with any of these. If you know the range, mention the highest range of that bracket. If you don't know, then ask the recruiter itself what your level of experience candidate should be actually offered from their organization, what they usually offer to the candidates with a similar expertise and skill set and experience. Okay, so that's the second question of part 5, which is what is your salary expectation. Okay, now moving on to the third question of part 5, which is how long do you plan to remain with this company? Another very important question. The reason for this question is that they want to understand, do you see yourself, or are you a person that look this particular organization from long-term perspective or not? Okay, or you just want to join and then you once just for the salary package, and then maybe after 6 months, 1 year down the line, you will again make another jump, right? So that is something they want to understand. Have you done your research about the company? Do you see your growth within the company? And you will be able to answer or not. Okay, so the tip here is mention about the aspects of the job and organization that appeal to you and would encourage you to stay in the company, right? So you have to research again here. You have to check the organization, the company website, and see the job description in detail, and check the keywords or check the things that will excite you to be in that particular role for long. Maybe it's hardcore automation and a lot of API testing opportunity, which really excites you, and you can keep going for long term because you always wanted to do it, and you will be learning a lot in that space, right? So that is something, one of the aspect that will keep you going in that particular job, right? So you can see the job role and the company as well, how good the company is, how much support they provide in terms of learning, all of that you need to research, and you will get all that information from the company website. You don't need to go anywhere else. Okay, so if you mention about the role that you are applying for what exactly appeals in that particular role, then mention about the company culture that appeals. The company culture is good, what exactly the company culture is, right? And then mention about the long-term growth plans of the company. So if the company has long-term growth plans that you can see on the website, what their future plans are, etc., where they are trying to expand, mention about that company is growing with this particular pace, and they are expanding in different geographies, which will obviously help me to grow as well along the company, right? So these are some of the key tips, topics that you need to go ahead and find a little bit information and then frame your answer accordingly. So the example answer for this particular question can be, I would prefer to stay long term. Obviously you won't say, no, I'm just here for 3 months, right? If you're saying that, you are not going to get hired. Okay, so I would prefer to stay long term if possible. Okay, I like the role as it is challenging, which will help me to enhance my skills. The flexible hours offered by you work very well with my personal commitments, right? So because the job that is advertised, they have mentioned, it is a remote opportunity or flexible hours of working. So you can pick those keywords which appeal you to apply for that particular job, right? So you can pick those keywords and you can say, flexible hours that you are offering perfectly fit for me as per my personal commitments. The company's plan, third thing, which is about long-term growth of the company that they are planning. So you can specify the company's plan to expand into different geography, different domain, whichever way they are trying to expand, they are trying to launch new product, etc., right? Will also provide me more potential, more internal opportunities for learning and growth, right? So that is the third point. You have researched that yes, company is trying to expand in different geographies, launch new products, launch in different domains, or get into or venture into different domains, which will obviously, when you will be part of that particular organization, you will be given chance to grow in any of the different areas and technologies, right? So that's another thing to mention, why you want to remain with them long term, right? So in order to answer how long do you plan to remain with this company, obviously you want to remain with the company long term, and don't just say I would prefer to stay long term, right? I'll stay long term. There needs to be a reasoning behind why do you want to stay long term. What are your personal criteria that appeal you in this particular job, in this role? What do you think from your long-term career perspective, how the company can help you to grow in your personal career as well, right? So matching all of that point, and framing the answer will be the best answer to give when you are being asked about this particular question. Okay, so now moving on to the next question, which is fourth question of the part 5. Can you tell us about your biggest achievement? Okay, now this is something which is not only applicable for the person who has worked. Achievement can be for anyone, right? So achievements, if you ask an achievement for 2-year-old kid, they have an achievement as well. The biggest achievement for a 2-year-old kid is when they started walking on their feet, right? So at every stage of your life, you have some biggest achievements, right? So for freshers, the biggest achievement will be when you look back to your degree, to your college, what things you have done really well. Okay, and it's not just about academics. Say for example, you have really good at academics, put those. If you don't have really good academics, you might be good at something very relevant to IT jobs and something else. Say for example, people management. Maybe you are not absolute fantastic great person in mathematics, physics, chemistry, right, or programming, but you have excellent people management skills. You have organized events in your college, in your overall class, and manage, hundreds and hundreds of people to organize that particular event. You are the person who can really excel in IT career, right? Because these skills are also required by people managers, by project managers, right? So analyze what you are good at. If you are good at academics, tell achievements in academics in your college project if you have done really well in there. Okay, mention those achievements. If your academics is not very good, at least you have done project. Mention good things that you have done about the project. Okay, the second thing that you have to mention is any extracurricular activities that make you stand out. So mention about those which you can relate to the job, right? For example, you have delivered a speech in front of the college, you have organized the event for or inter-college event, right? That these skills are also equally important than the actual technical skills. So you can think about any of these achievements and come up with the answer. Now, tips for the experienced people: pick any past project achievement which you can quantify. Okay, so you have to quantify as well. It's not just that, yes, I have did this and I have delivered this particular project. You have to actually quantify how much saving you did in terms of hours, etc., percentage. You have to quantify basically if interviewer wants to get into more detail. So as a fresher, this is the statement that I got from the internet, which looked very good to me. Okay, so my greatest professional achievement was completing my bachelor's degree in 4 years, right? So you can say, whichever specific degree that you have completed with particular GPA, if GPA is or academics is applicable. I had no financial support from my family and had to work full-time job while pursuing my economics degree. Okay, so you can specify your degree, whichever degree, engineering degree here. Okay, so while pursuing my engineering degree. If this is not relevant to you, right, don't unnecessarily that you had no financial support, don't mention that. If you really did something like this, you can specify that. This is just an example. Do not just straight away and put this particular answer. Okay, you have to customize it as per your own circumstances, right? Now, because this particular, say for example, you are a type of candidate where you had not too much support, financial support from your family, and you did work full time to support your degree, right? Which many students do. Many students who come overseas and study, they work full time to support their own degree and the fee and everything, right? So you can easily mention that. This taught me to prioritize my time, build great habits, and stay focused on my goals. I'm proud of this accomplishment, and I feel that what I learned is going to give me big advantage in my career now. Obviously, this is going to give this particular type of candidate a very big advantage. Why? Because they have learned to prioritize the time to work, to study, to do the classes, to do the assignments, and this is what is very important skill in the real project, right? So this is a real good achievement. If you are working along with your studies, you frame your answer into this particular format. Okay, put your own personal experience. Don't lie anything out there, right? Because lies can be caught. If you don't want to mention GPA, take it away. Okay, then if you are a professional, okay, you are already working, so you can frame the answer something like, my greatest professional achievement was successfully completing testing for a complex project well ahead of time, right? Now this is something which I had done, so it's personally I have documented this particular answer. So when I joined the project, all the testing work was being done manually, and even the most repetitive tasks were not automated, right? So this is something which I went into the project and figured out. Now I identified the areas which were repetitive in nature. For example, test data preparation and regression testing, right? These are the first key areas which I targeted and started working on creating the automation script. The test data scripts were created using the combination of PowerShell and Tosca, which helped in reducing the test data preparation from 10 hours per week to 30 minutes per week. Okay, so this is something which is one of the latest and biggest achievement for me, right? So whenever I'll go for an interview, if as far as this is the biggest achievement, I'll take this example in the interview, right? If I'm an experienced candidate. Now for you, whatever is the biggest achievement, you can frame it accordingly and answer the question, right? But the idea here is everyone has some big achievement, right? Whether you are a kid, you are out of the college, right? You have good GPA or you don't have good GPA, that doesn't matter. Still you will have something to say which is really great about you as a person. Okay, so go ahead, think about it and frame your answer accordingly. Now moving on to the next question of part 5. What kind of work environment do you prefer to work in? Okay, now what kind of work environment do you prefer to work in? This is important question the company asked to understand, are there any personal preferences that you have in terms of the work environment? Okay, are you very specific about the culture of the work or the work culture, right? And maybe the company is not that type of work culture, so they can then filter you out there, or if you align with them, then it's good for them, right? Say for example, they are fast paced and then you say, no, I want a little relaxed work environment, then obviously, you are not good fit for that particular role. So the idea here is, it doesn't matter your preferences. If you are looking for a job, your preferences matter least, right? So you have to research what the company is looking for. Okay, and based on that, if you really feel that, yeah, this is something which I can manage, right? If say for example you want A and the company is offering Z, then obviously that is a complete flip. That is not going to work. But if there is something, they are good work environment in terms of learning, it is good, right? But then sometimes you have to put extra efforts as well, right? So because you are learning, you don't mind putting extra effort. Because you are being given appreciation and you are given raise every 6 months or a year, you don't mind putting a little extra effort, right? You are being appreciated. That's all good. So 100% perfect environment is nowhere. So you have to think about what your priorities are and what company is looking for and how you can fit into. So in order to answer this question, some of the tips: research the company's work environment. First thing, network with someone over LinkedIn or social media and learn about the company. So pick some of the employees who are already working in that particular company. Okay, try to connect with them, send connection request, and don't just send the connection request, put a personal message there why you want to connect, and once they accept the request, you can ask some questions. If they reply, that's fine. Otherwise, you keep asking with some other people how the work culture and everything is. You will get a lot of information in that way as well. Then you relate your answer to the company culture and be honest, right? So that is another very important aspect. So you have to relate your answer to the company culture, right? Not absolutely opposite. And you have to be honest as well. So for example, how you are going to answer. So I'm very flexible. Okay, if say for example you are flexible, so for the work environment question, the safest option is say you are flexible. Okay, I'm very flexible when it comes to my work environment preference. That's the safest statement to mention. Now when you say flexible, it doesn't matter what kind of work environment you have, I'm happy to work in, right? So at least you will be offered a position, right, with this making this statement. Then you can specify, I understand that your engineering department is fast paced and plans to expand into more domains. I enjoy working in fast paced environments as I think this kind of environment is very favorable for new ideas and expansions. Okay, so you have researched that this particular organization is fast-paced, engineering department is fast-paced because they want to expand and grow quickly in different domains. So you have already got this information that your schedule will be busy. That adds more value to your answer, because then the interviewer knows that you already know that we are fast-paced environment and engineering department, and you are happy to go ahead with that. You love doing it, right? And you are also flexible. So tomorrow, if there is some more things required, then you are happy to do it, right? So this way, when you have information about the organization, you can frame your answer accordingly, and that will be really helpful for you to answer, right? So this is how you are going to answer what kind of work environment do you prefer to work in. Okay, so that's all for the part 5 of behavioral interview questions and answers. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.